explosion in Beirut has left us all shocked and absolute devastation in its wake for so many lives. But through what may seem at times a hopeless situation, there have been some wonderful stories of acts of true heroism and survival that are now emerging.
Yeah, this is nurse Pamela Zen, you can see here, clutching 3 newborn babies she was rescuing from their incubators after she herself was knocked unconscious during the explosion last week in Beirut. As she escaped the badly damaged hospital, she stopped to answer the emergency room phone, a moment captured by a photojournalist.
Oh, my goodness me. Well, we're joined now from Beirut by Pamela Zen. It's extraordinary what you did, to have the presence of mind to take those actions is amazing. But when you look at that blast, can you remember the moment of the explosion and coming to, and talk us through what was going through your mind and how it happened?
Okay. When the blast happened, everything in the unit became destroyed. Incubators, the supplies, the ceiling just came falling on the ground. I was able to move myself out from underneath the metal. Metal shelves were on the floor, glass everywhere. Directly, I went to check the babies. This is the only concern I had. All the incubators were broken. I was removing pieces of rubble from the incubators, and I was able to move the 3 babies into safety. I grabbed the babies and ran down the stairs so I could bring them back to safety. My nursing colleagues were all hurt. They were bleeding. They had cuts all over. They weren't responding to me. They just looked at me with a blank stare. It was very devastating what happened. And no one could understand what happened. We did not know what causes the blast.
So you had these 3 little newborns. You were clutching them to you as you ran down the stairs. I think you said that you had to keep checking and counting 3 heads because it was all so confusing. You were scared of letting them slip away. But then what to do next? As you say, it was a scene of devastation. You had to get them to safety. What did you then do?
I grabbed the babies and went to the ER. I couldn't get help from the ER because there was no ER there. Everything was destroyed. Doctors were suturing their patients on the ground. We had no electricity there either. So they used their phone lights to suture the patients. Some patients even did not get sutured well because there was no more supplies between our hands. So what I did is I walked around 5 kilometers from our hospital to neighboring hospitals, asking them for help if I could get admitted with these babies. But they couldn't get me in because their hospitals were destroyed too. So I walked around 5 kilometers until I found a car who was able to help me get these babies into another hospital, which was a bit farther away from mine.
I mean, it must have been very frightening because at this point, as you say, you didn't know what the blast was. You didn't know what you were walking towards. You didn't know. I mean, it's terrifying.
It was really terrifying. I was walking down the street and people were asking me, how can we help you? I told them, please just give me some cover, some shirts, anything. People started taking off their shirts and giving me their shirts so I could cover the babies. They were only in their diapers. I did not even have the chance to put anything on them.
Yeah. And Pamela, you know, these babies are in an incubator, you're taking them here. I mean, how much time do you have here? I mean, that walk of 5 kilometres, that's not a short walk. So how long were you walking around the streets there until you managed to get someone to help you?
Around 1 hour. I was walking around 1 hour. I was jumping into cars and then back on the street because I did not have time to wait for the traffic to just reach the hospital. So I was walking most of the time. I couldn't find anyone to help but to walk with the doctor that was with me, Dr. Nadim Hajar. He really helped me out.
I mean, I suppose one of the concerns is these are vulnerable little babies. That's why they're in the incubator, and you probably were wondering how much time you had before, you know, they needed to get into that incubator fast, didn't they?
Exactly. My main concern was to keep these children warm and alive, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the lovely moments, which we've seen some footage of you reuniting these babies with their mothers. I mean, their mothers and their families must have been absolutely distraught, not thinking whether they will see their newborn children ever again.
Of course, the mother came to the hospital when she knew that the blast happened, and she saw the main floor. She just looked at the skeleton of the hospital, if we could say, and it just fell on the ground. She never thought that her babies would survive.
Oh my goodness! And it was twins and another baby as well.
Yeah.
And how are they doing? How are they doing now?
They're doing very well. They're completely healthy, no scratches, nothing, as if nothing happened.
Wow,
I mean,
miraculous.
it'd be amazing to, someone to tell them what happened to them when they're a bit older, and whether they will even realise, and what extreme sort of danger they were in. I mean, look, we've all seen the pictures of right across Beirut in Lebanon, but your story is a story of hope. Do you feel that people are being encouraged and inspired by your story, and even in the utter darkness, the utter devastation of what's happening in Beirut, that there are these glimmers of hope and some positivity?
Yes, people are bringing me positive thoughts. They are thanking me a lot. This support has helped me as well, because without them, I wouldn't be here right now. Psychological-wise, I'm doing very fine. This is all because of the support I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yes, because once you got those babies to safety, that must have been when the shock hit you.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you feel at that point?
I was really afraid. All the way I was carrying these babies, I was afraid, but I had to be strong. I had to be strong for myself and for the babies and for my family as well.
And you're back at work. You've gone back to help because, my goodness, your help and the likes of others of you is really needed, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. We came into the hospital the next day. We just helped out. We removed the metal shelves, we cleaned the floors, and now we're starting to get back to where we were.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us, Pamela Zenoon. Thousands of miles away, you're inspiring us here as well. It's just a fantastic story. And those children owe you everything when they grow up. And thank you so much for taking your time. I know you'll be very busy as well, and you've got lots of more important work to be getting on with. So thanks for joining us